you? An idiot sandwich.
Hey everyone, it's Nicole and Rue. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I have the newest release from Cirque Colors. This is their new Cirque-Us collection. The Cirque-Us collection features 6 polishes in Cirque's shimmer graphic formula. The Cirque-Us collection is available right now on the Cirque Colors website. If you would like to pick up this release as well as support the channel, I do have a coupon code, which is Nicole Loves Nails, where you can pick up all the polishes and receive a 10% off discount. The discount does not go towards the already discounted bundle set, so if you want all 6 shades, you will have to add them individually to your cart. All of the polishes featured in today's video were gifted to me by Cirque Colors, and today's video is also sponsored. Thank you very much to Cirque Colors for sponsoring today's video. I am so excited to be partnering with you all again for today's video. As always, in the description box, I will have links to where you can pick these polishes up, and as always, I'll save all of the pricing and sale information towards the end of the video. I will also have links to Cirque Colors' social media pages, my social media pages, as well as a link to my blog post on NicoleLovesNails.com. And also for today's video, I will also have some comparisons because some of these shades were reminding me a little bit of the Twisted Tea Party polishes, so I wanted to see how they look, so you guys get to see how they look too. And as per usual, timestamps are also listed in the description box. Let's just get into this one. First up, we have Marionette, which Cirque describes as a pastel pink shimmer graphic with a magenta pink to red to orange color shifting aurora shimmer and scattered holographic effect. Marionette had a fantastic formula. On that first coat, it's a little bit sheer, so this one definitely needs building up. I found it built up really nicely for me in 2 coats. However, I did find that the 3rd coat deepens the base. So I'm going to call this one a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I feel like for me, for personal wear, I probably would choose to build this one up in 3 coats just because I really like that extra depth of color that you get with the 3rd coat, but I wouldn't say it's completely necessary either. As someone who is generally not like the biggest lover of pastels, the shimmer and holographic combination here definitely got me to love this one. This is on the darker end of pastel pinks in my opinion. I agree with Cirque's color description on the shimmer as well. I found in person I was largely seeing the red to orange color shift for the most part. The holographic in this polish is super strong and very sparkly, but it does give the polish some texture, so you're going to definitely need glossy top coat to smooth everything out. My full hand swatches show Marionette in 3 coats plus 1 layer of glossy top coat. Because this is jam-packed with glitter, I would not recommend scrubbing this polish off. I would highly suggest a peel-off base coat or use the soak-off method for removal. This next polish is called Ringleader, and Cirque describes it as a red-orange shimmer graphic with a magenta pink to gold to green color shifting aurora shimmer and scattered holographic effect. Cirque should have named this one Tricky Trickster because I swear, depending on what lighting I was in, I thought it was red, then I thought it was orange, then I thought it was coral, and then I was just plain confused. For the sake of my sanity, I'm just gonna say, yep, Cirque was correct. It's a red-orange. Ringleader had a fantastic formula. This one was a bit more opaque than some of the other polishes in this release. This is another one that I'm going to call another 2 to 3 coater depending on personal preference. If you're a super strong stickler for not wanting to see visible nail line, I'd recommend adding that 3rd coat. I found in person that Ringleader has an almost metallic look on the nail, which I believe comes from the shimmer effect. In person, largely the color of the shimmer that you're going to see is going to be the pink to gold. I could see like a hint of green at very extreme angles, but for the most part, I was largely just seeing the pink to gold, and that gold shift made my heart sing.
I love gold!
Listen, I know I'm predictable when it comes to gold, but there's just something about gold shimmer that makes everything look better. The holographic in here was also phenomenal. Because it is a holographic glitter, it will dry down with texture. I found 1 layer of top coat smoothed everything out really nicely for me, but you might need an additional layer of top coat for long-term wear to keep everything looking nice and glossy. Removal will of course be on the more difficult side due to the glitters. Again, use the soak-off method or a peel-off base coat. And now we have Limelight, which Cirque describes as a lime green shimmer graphic with a blue to violet color shifting aurora shimmer and scattered holographic effect. As much as I love a gold shimmer, I really love that this has a more contrasting shimmer with that blue to purple color shift. Limelight is one of the more sheer polishes in this release. This is one that I think is likely going to be a 3 coater for most people. If you go in for a slightly thicker coats than I do, you might be okay in 2 thicker coats, but I would always recommend thinner coats over thicker ones. And with that 3rd coat, I did find that I was getting the color that I was seeing in the bottle on my nail. nail, and it also made the shimmer be a little bit stronger as well. Limelight also had a really great formula, by the way. It was just slightly on the thicker side, but still really easy to work with, and I didn't need to add any nail polish thinner to it. And while Cirque does describe this as having a blue-violet shimmer, I also could see a pink color shift in here as well. Similar to the other polishes in this release, this one is going to dry down fairly flat, but also a little bit gritty due to the glitter, so you will definitely want some glossy top coat with this one. And again, I would not recommend scrubbing this polish off. Use the soak off method or a peel off base coat. And now we have Stunt Queen, which Cirque describes as a light turquoise shimmer graphic with an orange to green to gold color shifting aurora shimmer and scattered holographic effect. Unsurprisingly, Stunt Queen also had a fantastic formula. The base did not feel overly thick or thin, and zero application issues. This is going to be another 2 to 3 coater depending on how you feel about visible nail line. I found coverage to be really good and really even in 2 coats, but I did have fairly obvious visible nail line. You get a bit more depth in the base color with the 3rd coat, and I would say as far as like nail line goes, it's like 95% opaque. I think if I went in for slightly thicker coats, I could have covered my nail line up even better than I did. But I found it's the kind of visible nail line that you have to really look for it in order to catch it. I found for what I was seeing in person, the shimmer in here has a very strong gold to green look on the nail. This is going to be another one of those kind of chameleon kind of polishes where depending on what angle you're getting from the shimmer, the polish is either going to look very turquoisey or slightly bluish or even slightly greenish. And again, the holographic glitter is going to give this one some texture, so definitely get your glossy top coat for this one and do not scrub this one off. Use the soak off method or a peel off base coat. This next polish is called Aerial Act, and Cirque describes it as a cobalt blue shimmer graphic with a green violet blue color shifting aurora shimmer and a scattered holographic effect. As I'm sure many of you are fully aware, cobalt blue was one of my personal favorite shades of blue, so out of the entire release, this was the one that I was most excited to get onto my nails, and it did not disappoint. I found Aerial Act also had a fantastic formula. This was the polish in the release that I found the most opaque. This was the only one that for my full hand swatches, I only did 2 coats. I had like the teeniest amount of visible nail line with this one, but I didn't think it was enough to warrant adding a 3rd coat, and the color that I was getting on my nails looked just like the color in the bottle, so I saw no need to add a 3rd coat. This is another one of the polishes in the collection that I found had an almost metallic-y look on the nail. While Cirque does describe the shimmer having a green, blue, purple color shift, I found in person I was seeing more of a teal to blue to purple. I found because the base color is kind of similar to the shimmer colors that it looks more, I'll use the word subdued, but you can very clearly tell that there's a shimmer, but because it's not a contrasting shimmer, it's not like as in your face looking. My full hand swatches here show Aerial Act in 2 coats with 1 coat of glossy top coat, and as I've been saying this entire video, the glitters do dry down with texture, so you will definitely want glossy top coat, and I would recommend the soak off method or peel off base coat for the easiest removal. And the final polish in the collection is called Showgirl. Cirque Color describes this one as a deep periwinkle blue shimmer graphic with a pink, green, gold color shifting aurora shimmer and scattered holographic. At first glance, I feel like Showgirl looks like it might be a purple and not a periwinkle. There's something about how the periwinkle base pairs with the shimmer in here that gives the polish kind of a purpley look, and then on top of it looking kind of purple at some angles, the shimmer is super duper contrasting and color shifty, and this was like a surprise favorite for me in this release. I do agree that the base color on this is in the periwinkle family, but on the nail it kind of leans very purple tone due to the pink in the shimmer. My full hand swatch here shows Showgirl in 3 coats. I found while coverage was pretty even in 2 coats, it wasn't quite the color that I was seeing in the bottle, so I opted to add a 3rd coat. This is another one where I do have a little bit of nail line, but I kind of have to really look for it in order to spot it. I wrote in my notes that this has almost kind of a rainbow vibe to it. By that I do mean that because the base is kind of like a periwinkle blue, the shimmer makes it look kind of purpley, and then the shimmer has like a gold to green color shift. You kind of get the effect of having a whole rainbow of colors on your nail without any one thing being all of the colors. And as someone who really loves rainbows, I love that for this one. As with the other polishes in this collection, this does dry down fairly textured as well as a little flat, so you will definitely want glossy top coat to bring life back into the polish. And of course, your removal will be
easy peasy lemon squeezy
if you decide to use the soak off method or a peel off base coat. And yes, Cirque does also have a peel off base coat. I use it for all of my full hand swatches. So first up for comparisons, we have Marionette right here that has a star right there. So to compare to Marionette, I pulled out True Love's First Kiss, Porcelain Plum and Hot Gossip. Porcelain Plum is not one of Cirque's shimmer graphic polishes, but I did want to pull out something that also has shimmer and holographic that the brand has also released, just to kind of see some comparisons that way as well. So obviously Porcelain Plum is very different than the other polishes in here. The rest of these are all also shimmer graphics. The biggest differences between Marionette, True Love's First Kiss, and Hot Gossip. Marionette has a deeper shade of pink to it. Hot Gossip over here is more orange toned than pink. Next up we have Ringleader here. Cirque has another red shimmer graphic called My, but I don't personally own that one. So the only polish that I had that was like kind of comparable that I thought to Ringleader was Cirque Colors Red Bottoms right here. Red Bottoms doesn't actually have any shimmer in it, so they're not the same finish at all. In my personal opinion, I think Ringleader has a lot more bling blam blow than Red Bottoms does, but I do think that the holographic element in them is kind of similar. Next up we have Limelight. To compare to Limelight, I pulled out U-Tart as well as All In. I'm pretty sure All In is discontinued now, but U-Tart is still available. U-Tart is coming across a lot more yellow toned, kind of like chartreuse leaning, whereas Limelight is more of a lime green. The shimmer color between both polishes are also different. U-Tart shimmer is a pink gold green color shift, and Limelight has a blue violet color shift. I would say also the color difference between All In and Limelight is also different. Again, the shimmer colors are different, and I would say All In is a bit darker in color, more of like a primary green as opposed to a lime green. Next up for comparisons is Stunt Queen. I pulled out Tipsy Turvy to compare to this one. The color difference that I'm seeing in person is that Tipsy Turvy is more of a blue leaning polish, and Stunt Queen has a bit more green to it, as well as being quite a bit lighter as well. I feel like Stunt Queen leans like a little bit towards the teal end of the spectrum. Next up for comparisons, we have Showgirl. For Showgirl, I pulled out Spoonful of Sugar and Jammin' Out. While Cirque does describe both Showgirl as well as Spoonful of Sugar as periwinkles, Spoonful of Sugar has a little bit more of like a dusty like quality to it. So it has just like a little bit of gray added to it, and it's obviously also significantly lighter. The shimmer is also different in both polishes. Showgirl has a magenta pink gold green color shift, and then Spoonful of Sugar has a blue to purple color shift. And I feel like you can very clearly tell that Jammin' Out is in the purple family and not in the periwinkle family. And for the last polish, I did not have any Cirque shimmer graphics that I thought were going to be terribly comparable to Aerial Act. The only polish that I had from the brand that had both shimmer and holographic was Catalina, which came out last year. You can tell that Aerial Act has quite a bit more holographic added to it, so the holographic is definitely a lot stronger in Aerial Act, and I would say that Catalina is a bit more in the periwinkle family. Okie dokie, so final thoughts. I feel like it's gonna be a no-brainer that I really enjoyed this release. I really love whenever you have holographic paired with shimmer, and Cirque's shimmer graphic formulation is probably one of my favorite ones that the brand does on a regular basis. I feel like the overall color story of this release looks really fun as well. I feel like it's very cohesive looking, and it does give me some Cirque-Us vibes. Hi, editing Nicole here, and I forgot to say which polishes were my favorites from this release. So my top pick from this release is going to go to Ringleader, which I feel like is probably the surprise for those of you who watch the channel fairly regularly. I think Ringleader made it onto my favorites because I had this one on for the longest amount of time, and when I initially put it on, I wasn't like that impressed. And then I went outside to go walk Rue, and then I was like, wait a damn minute. And it was just so impressively beautiful. And then my second top pick is going to go to Aerial Act. I can't not say the cobalt blue, like I just can't. I just love cobalt blue to pieces, so I had to pick that one as a top pick. And then I think my honorable mention is going to go to Showgirl. There was something about the color shifty goodness of that one paired with the base color that really just got me going. If you are new to the brand, Cirque Colors is a US based indie brand. Their polishes are in 11 ml bottles. They are cruelty free as well as being vegan friendly. As far as pricing and sale and availability goes for the Cirque-Us collection, this release is available right now on the Cirque Colors website. All of the polishes in this release are going to be priced at $14.50, and this release is not going to be limited edition, thankfully. If you really love the formulation of these polishes, as I mentioned last year, Cirque also had another collection that were all shimmer graphics and called the Twisted Tea Party collection. Cirque Colors is also going to be re-releasing the polishes from the Twisted Tea Party collection alongside this release.
Victory Screech!
which I personally am really happy about because I freaking love that collection. And if you are like me and absolutely obsessed with holographic plus shimmer combinations, I do also want to mention for the month of April, Cirque's Candy Shop is going to be focusing on their shimmer graphic shimmers and spotlight shimmer formulations. These spotlight shimmers are similar to the shimmer graphics, but the difference between the two is that the spotlight shimmers have silver reflective glitter instead of the silver holographic glitter that the shimmer graphics have. If you are new, Cirque's Candy Shop is a special section of the website where they have specific formulas that they focus on for each month. In March, the focus was on the jellies, and for April, we're going to be focusing on all of the shimmers. I will have a direct link to the Candy Shop section that has all of the fun shimmers that Cirque has in case anyone is interested in that. I would love to know what everyone else thought of this release and just what do you think of the shimmer graphic formulation in general. And again, if you would like to pick up anything off of the Cirque Colors website, you can use my affiliate code Nicole Loves Nails to save an additional 10% off of the entire website. And again, I'm just going to keep mentioning this for a couple more videos. Cirque did change my code, so now it is unlimited use. So if you've used it previously this year or last year, you can use it again. So don't be like me and constantly forgetting to add the code before you check out, because I kid you not, I've ordered from Cirque like 3 times this year, and all 3 times I've forgotten to use a code. So don't be like me, use a code.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Shenanigang, Stormy fans, your names of course are all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, I have a link for that down in the description box. And thank you again to Cirque Colors for sponsoring today's video. I greatly appreciate you all partnering up with me. So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.